Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer 55551, and I am back with a My 2 Cent video for this week of June 4th to June 10th, where I take a look at a couple of stories that got my attention, give you my thoughts and my opinion about them. And we got 4 stories to cover, including an interesting rumor going around in regards of a Nintendo and Illumination might do a Zelda movie and all. A situation with Microsoft, with the FTC, which has nothing to do with the ABK deal or anything like that, but an area where I actually do have to side with the FTC on this one. Bad news for those who picked up KOTOR or Knights of the Old Republic 2 for the Nintendo Switch, and Microsoft seems to be set on meeting with the British government, particularly the Chancellor, over the CMA's decision to block the Microsoft Activision deal, though. If you're interested in where I got the source of these information, though, links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. But before we get started, I like to do what I like to call the quick My 2 Cents, stories that kind of caught my attention, but I'm not going to go into basically a huge amount of details. We have learned that basically Western Digital has officially launched its own, memory card, the Xbox storage expansion card, basically offering another option for consumers outside of picking the Seagate ones, though. Right now, in terms of, there's basically, I think, the 512 gigabyte and 1 terabyte, though. I believe the 1 terabyte might be, I think, $148. I could be wrong on that, so I apologize if I got the price wrong, though. It is a little, I will admit, on one hand, it is a little bit expensive, but definitely below the $200 that the 1 terabyte from Seagate has been. Hopefully we'll see more competitors enter in the market, and maybe this opens the door to maybe Seagate and others to consider lowering the price for their expansion cards for the Xbox Series X and S, though. We also learned that basically the last year's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge will be getting a new DLC. It looks like there's different modes to, I think, a new area and all, to a brand new character and all. So it's certainly nice this game is getting some love, though. It is a fun game, especially for those who are fans of the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game or NES or Genesis game back in the day and all. We also learned that Apple has acquired the studio that apparently made like the headset. This is the ones that use in the Mario Kart ride that's at the Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios in Hollywood, California, though. So kind of interesting to see them purchase them. This may have to do with their upcoming, it looked like a VR headset that they announced during their event, though. Although from what I've been hearing, the price point is one that I could definitely see, let's just say it could probably turn off some people, especially what they are asking for, to be exact, though. We also saw a new trailer for the upcoming Pikmin 4 from Nintendo, though. This is one I'll definitely be keeping an eye out, though. Maybe not on the same level as Tears of the Kingdom, but still one I would definitely be taking a look at, though. We also heard that Jeff Grubbs has been hearing rumors or rumbling that he believes that we could be seeing a Nintendo Direct in July, though. Now, granted, nothing is official. Nintendo hasn't said anything at this time, so it's just speculation for the time being, though. That said, though, I wouldn't rule out the possibility we could see a Direct in July. If it does, I'm very curious to see what Nintendo will be talking about for their holiday lineup, though. They've been kind of quiet after Tears of the Kingdom has come out, though. So, I mean, it's possible they may not have anything big for the holidays, but then again, Nintendo is known to keep things to their chest, though, so they might surprise us. So we'll have to wait and see if this report from Jeff Grubb turns out to be true. We also learned that Octopath Traveler 2 has now shifted 1 million units worldwide, which I think is awesome. I think it's great that that game is basically doing very good and all that stuff. So that certainly is nice indeed. We also learned that basically Aulx has updated the domains means for the possible remake of Persona 3 remake, though. This follows sort of earlier stories today that had seemed to pop up that Aulx may have secretly revealed it by mistake, as there were rumors that this was going to be shown during the Xbox showcase, which basically had Persona 3 remake and Persona 5 Tactics. So, I mean, the cat's already out of the bag, but I've yet to see how accurate this is or not. So we'll find out during the Xbox showcase and all, though. We also learned that Nintendo has expanded several of their games for the Nintendo Switch's online service. We have them ranging from, say, Harvest Moon to even Kirby Tilt and Turn, which was a game that was released on the original, I think, Game Boy Color, though. I'm curious to see how that's going to work, since that involves, like tilting your Game Boy, your Game Boy or Game Boy Color and all. So I'm curious to see how that will work and everything like that, though. We also learned Hideki Kamiya had appeared at an Apple event, basically announcing that Death Stranding Director's Cut will be making its way to the Apple systems and all. This all correlates with a update for Mac iOS, which is called Sona, SONOMA, and it will offer basically what is called a game mode, and basically it's going to be able to bring people or developers to port their PC games to Apple or not. How well this will take off or not kind of remains to be seen, but I am kind of curious to see how this will work and see if other developers will follow suit as well. And of course, we had the Summer Game Fest 2023, though, and while unfortunately I didn't get a chance to watch it, which is somewhat unfortunate, though, there were some interesting announcements, like Lies of Pi will be coming out this September with a demo out, though. The new Prince of Persia game looks kind of interesting. Question the choice of music, though, but the fact that it's a 2D and sort of a Metroidvania style has kind of caught my attention, to be exact. And the new trailer for the second part of the Final Fantasy VII remake, though, which word has it that it's going to be on 2 discs, though, which I'm kind of mixed on that one, to be exact. But, there were some very interesting announcements made during Summer Game Fest 2023. And in the movie and the TV part of the My 2 Cent, though, apparently it appears to be that there has been sort of a deal strike by some of the writers in terms of the ongoing writer strike that's been going on this time right now. I think they're actually to the DAG tentative deal, though. This doesn't mean this is the end of the writer strike or anything like that, but it does sound like it's somewhat of a step in the right direction, though. We are also learning about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and seems to be getting off to a pretty good start in terms of the box office, though. I've yet to see this one, and again, I haven't seen the first one. I kind of feel guilty about that, though, but not bad for the sequel to the animated Spider-Man movie, though. We also learned about the possibility of whether Johnny Depp will return to basically the Pirates of the Caribbean, though. At the time, though, it remains to be seen if a 6th movie was going to happen. Disney wasn't sure about bringing him back, given the whole controversy with, I think, his ex-wife and the whole trial situation that's been going on. Whether that changes or not, that remains to be seen, though. I think it would be very difficult for Disney to do a 6th Pirates of the Caribbean movie without Johnny Depp, because he kind of really steals the show with his character and everything like that. But time will ultimately tell, though. And we also learned that several MCU projects that have unfortunately shut down due to the writer's strike, which is a little bit unfortunate, though, but it's clear we're seeing the impact of this, though. Hopefully the writer's strike ends soon, and hopefully that they could get to the negotiation table and deal with certain things, including, royalties, returns of streaming and all. And last but not least, we saw a small special trailer for the upcoming MCU Secret Invasion, though. I am very curious about this one, since this will focus on Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson's character. So it's definitely one I'm keeping an eye out when it comes out this June and all. Okay, with the quick My 2 Cent part now done, we'll get started with our first story, and this one has to do with Microsoft. This involves some comments they've made recently about their upcoming showcase to one of the presidents or one of the executives are flying over to basically the UK this week, though, to basically talk to them in regarding the basic fallout that has emerged from the CMA decision. Now, I'm sure most of you are aware of by now, though, the CMA has voted to block the acquisition of basically Microsoft purchasing Activision Blizzard and all. This led to some criticisms towards the CMA after recently the EU made the decision to move ahead and decided to give the go-ahead to the acquisition, though. It also to a certain degree, and at least this is how I'm seeing it though, it kind of brought Brexit back into the spotlight to a certain extent though. So it's going to be very interesting to see what emerges from this conference though. In an article published by Pure Xbox, it reads that, quote, "There's still a lot going on behind the scenes in regards to the UK's CMA decision to block Xbox Activision Blizzard merger, with Microsoft President Brad Smith meeting to discuss the deal with UK Chancellor Jeremy Hunt this week. Bloomberg is reporting that Smith is in London to give a scheduled talk about the potential of AI, but he'll also be conducting private discussions about various other matters. Activision Blizzard is part of this, as confirmed by a Microsoft spokesperson, said, quote, He also hold private discussions on other issues, including the proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard, as we remain committed to finding a creative and constructive way to address the remaining regulatory concerns, a Microsoft representative said. One of the outlet sources has mentioned that an extreme way for Microsoft to save the deal could be to bypass the UK order and push on with the takeover anyway, or even withdraw Activision from the UK market. For now, though, the main thing to focus on is Microsoft's appeal against the UK CMA verdict, with a hearing tentatively set for late July. If the company is successful on its appeal, it'll be very interesting to see what comes next. So it's going to be very interesting to see what emerges from this meeting and all. I mean, could something positive come out of it? Could there be more remedies on the table, though? I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibilities. They could come up with different remedies and all, or different ones specifically for the UK market, though. At the same time, while I do consider this a last resort option for Microsoft, though, I certainly would not rule out the possibility they could particularly just completely pull out from the UK market. That would be unprecedented, if I'm saying that correctly, if they pull something like that. That would be really, really interesting if they do that, though. I'm not sure, 100% sure if they will or not, but I wouldn't rule it out if the appeal did not go their way or not. But that would be really interesting if that happens. Meanwhile, though, as you all are probably aware, the Xbox Showcase will be coming up this Sunday, though, and they'll have basically the Starfield Direct. So, excuse me, all eyes are going to be on to see what Microsoft has to offer, though, and it'll be interesting to see how their presentation goes over how Sony's presentation did with their PlayStation Showcase, which, to me, wasn't necessarily bad, but I won't say it was great either. There are certain legitimate criticisms, including maybe too much use of the CGI and everything like that. So there were plenty of criticism leveled towards this. Well, recently, the Xbox executive, though, Alan Green, if I'm saying his name though, Alan Greensberg, is basically chimed in on this, and he basically has decided not to tempt expectations and is asking fans to be open-minded on this one. Now, whether or not people do that remains to be seen. Some of that may be based off of what expectations are you setting for in terms of the Xbox Showcase. Some of it falls on that, though. But anyway, in an article from Pure Xbox, it reads that, quote, "Whenever Xbox is getting ready to host a major event of some kind, it's normally around this time that Alan Greenspan, the VP at Xbox gaming market, tells fans to keep their expectations in check ahead of the show. That's not happening this time around, as Alan Greensberg responds to a suggestion about this last night by telling a fan that he has no plans to tease, temper, or spoil anything. That said, he mentioned that he liked fans to remain open-minded and ultimately enjoy the ride during Xbox Showcase 2023, taking place this Sunday, though. Someone asked him, said, quote, "Aaron, I recommended posting the famous tempt the expectation tweet. Some podcasts have mentioned crazy expectations for Xbox Showcase. I think the show would be great, and many of the previous announcement games will be there in addition to new surprises." His response to this was, quote, "No plans to tease, tempt, or spoil anything. Love seeing all the wild expectations. My advice is just come in with an open mind and enjoy the ride. Appreciate this year of hard work. So many teams have put their hearts and souls into this for you all. Hashtag Xbox Showcase, hashtag Hold the Line. It continues on by saying, quote, Greensburg was very active on Twitter yesterday, revealing that the Xbox Showcase won't be showing any full CG trailers during the event, which I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It will feature no movie or TV trailers either, and it won't just be restricted to games coming out the next 12 months, though. As someone asked him, will it be like last year, that they come out in 12 months? He responded, no. We've seen a lot of wild expectations floating around pure Xbox community. So even if Ginsburg isn't saying it, we think definitely worth keeping expectations checked ahead of this Sunday, though. We're hoping for a great event, but don't go expecting a shadow drop of Starfield or anything though. So, I mean, while he's not saying keep expectations in check though, I still think it's very important that we keep our expectations in check anytime this showcase happens. In case you're wondering, I'm taking care of my parents' cat and everything like that, in case you saw that. So, yeah, I would definitely still go in this with keeping expectations in check. I'm not saying the show is going to be awful or bad. I mean, we don't know. We'll find out on Sunday if Microsoft can execute it well or not, especially with the Starfield Direct, though. But I don't disagree with keeping somewhat of an open mind on this showcase, though. But still, it is best to keep expectations in check for the time being. So, overall, I'm curious to see what Microsoft does with this meeting with the UK Chancellor and whether or not this changes any direction in terms of the UK stance on the ABK deal. Even with this showcase coming up, I'm still going to keep my expectations in check, nevertheless. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2. And this one has to do with unfortunate news for those who picked up KOTOR 2, Knights of the Old Republic 2, for the Nintendo Switch. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my 2 cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at a situation surrounding KOTOR, or Knights of the Old Republic 2, for the Nintendo Switch. Now, if there's one thing about Asperity, if I'm saying their name correctly though, they have been porting over several different games, bringing them over, especially to the Nintendo Switch. The first Knights of the Old Republic, along with the second one, Star Wars The Force Unleashed, Republic Commando, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. So they've been bringing over several titles. Some might view classic, others may not though. However, recently this week, it appears though that a DLC that was supposed to come to the Nintendo Switch did not seem to happen though. Now they responded in terms of a tweet that they put out, and this is what let me find it though. This is what the tweet had to say. Quote, we would like to thank the KOTOR community for their immense passion and support for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic series. That passion allows us to bring this timeless series to the Nintendo Switch, as we are forever grateful. Sadly, today we are announcing that the restored content DLC for the Nintendo Switch version of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lord, will not be moving forward for this release. We'd like to thank everyone for their continued support by providing a complimentary video game key to players that purchased Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lord, on the Nintendo Switch before this announcement. Players may pick a replacement key for the following list. They have Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords on Steam, the first Knights of the Old Republic, First Knights of the Old Republic on the Nintendo Switch, The Force Unleashed, Republic Commando, Episode 1 Racer, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, and several other games, though. The GameSpot report says that, quote, in order to redeem these free games, users need to visit support aspyr.com and submit a request with your Nintendo Switch proof of purchase attached. The restored content DLC was a fan volunteer effort of mods missing KOTOR 2 content that was approved by Asperity in 2015. Modder ZB YL Chu, an original programmer who was part of this effort, told the Kotaku subredditor via Yorkgamer following an announcement to say Asperity did nothing wrong. Quote, beyond that, shame it ended the way it did. The monitor explained the user who has been sharing their theories that the cancellation had nothing to do with higher-ups not wanting to give credit to the Mon team, adding that Asperity was great to work with, and they offered to credit the whole team long before I even asked about it, though. And well, apparently not everyone has taken to this very well, though. In an article from comicbook.com gaming, though, it is read, at least in one part, that says, quote, in response to this announcement, a number of people who have purchased Knights of the Old Republic 2 on Switch said that they want a refund due to this broken promise from Asperity. Others simply provide fans with a way to access the restored content from the game on PC through the use of mods. Either way, the situation is the one that has put Asperity in a tough spot, especially as it continues to develop its remake of the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, although there's been stories, although I'm not sure if that's been updated or not, considering, unless I missed something, Saber Interactive was handling it and Asperity was taken off it, though. Still, I mean, I will admit this is disappointed, though, even though it sounds like this was just a fan volunteer, a mod, though, so it wasn't really necessarily, it doesn't sound like, at least as far as I'm aware of, as cut content. Still, I can understand why Switch owners would be extremely frustrated with this, though, and I mean, I think offering a free key for a game isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think that they should also offer refunds for those who want to refund their game as well. And I can understand why Switch owners would be upset and angry about this. You were offered something that the development team was failed to deliver on in a way, though. So yeah, free game is nice, but why not a refund option? That certainly would have been helpful as well. So overall, not great news for KOTOR 2 owners, to be exact, though. Even though from what I've read, it sounds like this is a fan-made mod, not like game that was something that originally was supposed to be in KOTOR 2 or anything like that, although I could be reading it wrong, to be exact, though. And while I think it's great that they're offering a free game for other players to pick, though, I think they should have offered a refund option as well, too. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 3, and this one has to do with the FTC ruling on something that Microsoft did that has nothing to do with the ABK deal in any shape or any form. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of my 2 cent video, and for this one we're going to be taking a look at basically the FTC versus Microsoft on basically another issue that isn't involved with the ABK deal. Now, I'm sure most of you are aware, as of right now, the FTC is filing a lawsuit or trying to do what they can, at least under, the directions of the current person in charge of it, Linda Khan, is basically looking to try to block the ABK deal and all, and Microsoft is sort of preparing themselves for courts and everything like that. However, while I am sort of mixed on the FTC's approach to basically the whole ABK deal, that's not to say that I'm completely against the FTC at all. And there are times when I will be willing to side with them. And in this situation, I do have to side with them in terms of the COPPA Act, or the Child Protection Act, that I do believe in this situation, yes, Microsoft deserves the punishment and everything like that. In an article published on Video Game Chronicles, it reads that, quote, excuse me, according to an FTC statement, the Xbox sign-up process violated the Child Online Private Protection Act because it collects children's personal information without notifying their parents and getting their permission. Xbox was also accused of illegally retaining children's personal information, something the company has admitted and described as a technical glitch. The issue, which was mainly remedied in late 2021, revolved around the process requiring when signing up for Xbox Live account. When users sign up for an account, they have to provide their full name, email address, and date of birth. Even if the date of birth shows the user was under 13, they were still asked to provide more personal information, including their phone number. Until 2019, this was also included in a pre-checked. Okay, that's my cat leaning on my computer. Sorry. And until 2019, this was also included in a pre-checked box agreement to receive promotional materials and let Microsoft send user data to advisors. Only after this information was provided did the process that required anyone under 13 to get a parent to complete the rest of the account creation process. However, according to an FTC complaint from 2015 to 2020, the child's data was still retained even if the process wasn't completed for years though. In a statement on its Xbox website addressing the $20 million settlement, CVP of Xbox Player Service, David McCarthy, referred to the issue as a data retain glitch and said, regrettably, we did not meet customers' expectation and are committed to complying with the order to continue improving upon our safety measures. They explained during the investigation, we identified a technical glitch with our system, did not delete accounts, created data for children's account where the account creation process was started but not completed. This was inconsistent with our policy to save information for only 14 days to make it easier for gamers to pick up where they left off to complete the process. Our engineers team took immediate action. We fixed the glitch, delete the data, and implemented practices to prevent this error from occurring. The data was never used, shared, or monetized. Since the FTC settlement, we have updated our account creation process, which now requires players to first identify date of birth and, if under 13 years old, obtain verified parent consent before providing us with any information such as phone number or email address. This update process ensures that we can identify potential child's account immediately and make it clear to parents and caregivers that the next step to protect their child and data and play safe on our network though. So in this situation though, I do have to agree with the FTC on this one though. I think that when it comes to, the safety of children online and everything like that, this does make a lot of sense. This is very similar to what we saw, I think, what Epic Games went through with Fortnite, where they got fined over, with the microtransactions though. And a couple of years ago, we saw this situation played out on YouTube when it was later learned that advertisers were getting information, in terms of minors and everything like that, which prompted YouTube to sort of change their policy and now require those who upload content to basically saying, is this content meant for kids or not? If it's not, it means it won't be able to show up on, YouTube Kids or anything like that. So in this kind of situation, I do have to basically side with the FTC on this one in terms of, the safety of, kids and everything like that. So hopefully Microsoft learned their lesson. Hopefully they will update and fix and try to prevent a situation like that happening again for them, though. Meanwhile, with the FTC, there is a report that's coming out that the CMA met with the FTC about 26 times. This has kind of led to some speculations, to be exact. This article comes from Tweaktown. It basically reads about one person though, basically leaving and calling for a probe into abuse of power of allegations at the FTC. Anyway, the article went and said that, quote, both the FTC and the CMA believe the 68 billion Microsoft merger should be blocked. This has led to significant pushback from executive past trade commissions and trade commission, UK ministers, law experts, and a number of other pundits across the intersecting world of industry mergers and interactive entertainment. The FTC's decision has also caused former Republican Commissioner Christine Wilson to retire from the FTC, leading Wilson to write a scratch op-ed piece that in turn led to the U.S. House Oversight Committee to probe the FTC on alleged of abuse of power. Some went so far to allege collusion between the FTC and CMA, including Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick, who suggested that CMA's have been co-opted by FTC ideologues and was being used as a tool by the FTC. The FTC and the CMA have both shrugged off these allegations. The U.S. Antitrust Agency affirmed that it absolutely did not collided with the UK regulatories, and FTC Chair Linda Khan saying that the accusations were flatly untrue. In a recent Business and Trade Committee hearing, CMA CEO Sarah Caudill likewise pushed back against allegations of collusion, said, "We're not doing the business of other agency, though." That being said, the CMA did meet with the FTC on numerous occasions to discuss the merger. This is a typical and standard operating procedure, as worldwide regulators will often meet with one another on big cases like that, though. During the hearing, Cardinal promised to follow up with the committee with a number of how many times the two agencies met to talk about the Microsoft Activision merger and all. So it seems as though this whole situation has led to a certain allegation and, basically of abuse of power, though. Now, as of right now, we don't know if this allegation is true or not. I mean, this could be just a disgruntled person or something like that. That said, I won't rule out the possibility it could be true too. If that is the case, and it is true, then it does throw in the question of, were there biased decisions made by the CMA and maybe the FTC on blocking the Activision Blizzard deal, or the possibility that someone could have been bribed or something like that. So I don't want to go that far and say that is true or not, but I do think it is important. I would like to know a little bit more why the CMA made the decision to block it, why the FTC is hell-bent on blocking this deal, if there seems to be pushbacks from others, to be exact, though. So it certainly does raise some questions, though, but I don't want to declare that the allegations are true at this time, though. So we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. So overall, I would say I'm still mixed on the FTC's approach to the Activision Blizzard deal. To a certain extent, though, I agree they need to take a look at this deal carefully, but I'm mixed with some of their approach, though. But like I said, there are certain areas where I will side with them, and them with the, the violation of the CULPA Act or the Child Protection Act or anything like that. This is one area I would definitely side with the FTC on. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to our fourth and final part, and this one has to do with the reports of a Zelda movie may be in the works. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final part of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at a interesting rumor that seems to have emerged that basically a Zelda movie could actually be in the works. Now, I'm sure most of you right now have seen at this point that the Super Mario Brothers movie has been a huge success for Universal, Nintendo, and Illumination, though. That movie has so far ranked in over about $1 billion, and has so far overtook movies including, I believe, Frozen 2, although it has yet to overtake the first Frozen at this time, to be exact, though. With the success of this movie, this has sort of opened the door to the possibility that other IPs could be getting the same kind of treatment, though. There has been some talks about the possibility that a Donkey Kong movie could be in the work, to a Luigi's Mansion type of movie, though. And now it sounds like a Zelda movie might be happening, depending on whether this rumor turns out to be true or not. In an article from Nintendo Life, it basically states that, quote, according to film critic Jeff Snyder, if I'm saying the name correctly, Universal and Illumination are supposedly in the final stage of closing a big deal with Nintendo for a Legend of Zelda animated film. He shares this information on an episode of the Hot Mic podcast. Here's what he said, quote, excuse me, I don't think what I'm about to say is a huge surprise. I'm told that Universal is in fact closing a big deal with Nintendo Corporation for The Legend of Zelda. Zelda's looking like the next big Illumination Nintendo franchise, which again, I think we were all sort of expecting. But yeah, I'm told that it's happening and it's going to cost Universal a pretty penny because of the success of the Super Mario. Nintendo's kind of known no net worth at this point, but yeah, I'm told it's now going to be a reality. Now, it is worth pointing out at this time, Universal has not said anything at this moment, and for the time being, it should be treated as a rumor, though. So I think it's worth treating this as a rumor at this time. That being said, though, it's not out of the realm of possibility that this rumor could be true at all. Wouldn't surprise me if Universal is trying to secure the rights to do a Zelda movie and all. I mean, given how well the Mario movie did at the box office and everything, it wouldn't surprise me indeed, though. So this wouldn't surprise me if this turns out to be true. That being said, I'm kind of mixed on the idea of Illumination doing a Zelda movie, though. While I'm not saying they did I'm not certainly had no problems with them doing the Mario movie. I thought they did a really good job with it. And I'm not ruling it out that it's possible they could pull it off. I just feel with a franchise like Zelda, I'm not really sure taking the same approach with the Mario movie would exactly work. While I do agree it should be an animated movie, and I stand behind that, I always feel that Zelda tends to be more for an older audience, though, than compared to what Mario is. While Mario tends to feel like, being like for everybody out there, their games usually are rated E or E10, though. Basically, Zelda, I tend to feel tends to be more towards an older audience. Some of their stories can be somewhat dark, to be exact. This is kind of similar to my view with the Fire Emblem series and even the Xenoblade Chronicles series, for that matter. Plus, I feel that an anime manga style would fit best for a Zelda series. I'm not sure taking the same animation type approach that you see with, what Illumination or what Disney Pixar does would 100% work. But again, like I said, it is a rumor, so it's a little too early to tell if this rumor is going to be true or not, and we'll have to wait to see if it does turn out to be true in the end. So overall, I would say I'm kind of mixed on the idea of Illumination doing a Zelda movie or anything like that, but I won't rule out the possibility they could technically pull it off. And while this is basically a rumor at this time, it wouldn't surprise me if this is true, especially given the box office success that the Super Mario Brothers movie did and everything. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about Microsoft going into visiting the UK to talk about the ABK deal? Do you think something will come out of it? Do you think they will try to change the CMA's decision? Do you think the appeal will go through in any way? And what about basically keeping an open mind for the upcoming Xbox showcase, though? Are you going to do that? Are you going to keep your expectations in check in regards of this Xbox showcase, though? What are your thoughts about the KOTOR 2 Switch situation with this canceled mod DLC, though? Is this a disappointment? Does this change? Are you going to be asking, to get a different game? Are you going to try to get a refund in any way? Or are you going to keep the Switch version of KOTOR 2? What do you think about the situation with the FTC versus Microsoft? Do you think the FTC was right to fine Microsoft over the whole COPA situation, though, or do you think the FTC maybe went too far? And do you think that the FTC meeting with the CMA is leading to wild theories or speculation that there could be colluding with each other or working with each other? Or do you think this is just standard practices and it's no big deal and anything like that? And what are your thoughts about the rumor about Illumination and Universal talking to Nintendo about doing a Zelda movie and paying a lot to make that happen? Do you think this rumor is true in any way? Do you think Illumination is the right studio to do a Zelda movie, though? Or do you think they're not the right studio at all? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal Me, Patreon, or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, wish you all a good day then. Bye.